What's going on, guys? This is Empty Box, and this is Assetto Corsa, where today we're going to be taking a look at the newly released bonus DLC alongside the version 1.2 update. The bonus DLC is free to all owners of Assetto Corsa, adding in several cars as well as Zandvoort. We will be doing a race a little bit later on in the video. If you would like to go ahead and skip to that, you can go to the timestamp that you see on screen. But seeing how we do have more cars for this game, I'll go ahead and run through them really quickly. Starting with my least favorite, going to my most favorite. And, well, as you could probably guess, my least favorite car with this DLC package, the Nissan GTR Nismo. In my book, this car has absolutely nothing going for it. I think it looks exceptionally ugly. It sounds pretty dang bad, even by Assetto Corsa standards. It almost sounds like it has two entirely separate engines going on at the same time, which is really weird sounding. There's actually a couple missing gauges on the cockpit. The fuel gauge and the oil temperature gauge don't even have a texture, which just makes it feel unfinished. The way this car drives is just totally bizarre, to say the least, to the point where I could barely even make it through the first sector of the Nürburgring with this thing because it just doesn't make any sense at all. Like, driving this car, I just said, you know what? I don't get it. Michael Krum, you're a driving god for putting in a 708 on the Nordschleife with this car. If this thing's anywhere sort of close to realistic, I just don't know how that's possible. This thing just makes no sense to my brain at all, and because of that, I really don't like it. Next up is the Alfa Romeo Myto Quadrifoglio Verde, which, yeah, it's actually not that bad. It's probably my favorite front-wheel drive street car within Assetto Corsa. It's actually a heck of a lot of fun around some of the tighter, twistier tracks. For example, Magione is really fun with this car. It actually is strangely appealing to me. But it is a front-wheel drive compact street car, so it does have, you know, limited appeal to myself, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people. But it is actually a car that I didn't expect to like at all. Kind of figured it is more or less a waste of space, but yeah, it's not that bad. Up next is the Audi Sport Quattro, which actually I really like this car. This DLC package is pretty solid, except for the Nismo GTR in my opinion, but it's a fun car. It's very, 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 very soft. The way you drive this thing is actually pretty fun. You basically kind of drive it like a front-wheel drive car, but it's not a front-wheel drive car, obviously. You know, you kind of want to turn the car and pitch it sideways a little bit, and then just kind of drive through it more or less, which is actually very fun and very satisfying. And plus, it's the Audi Sport Quattro. Personally, I've always really liked these German box cars, as I call them, because they're always so boxy. The boxy fender flares are just so awesome. Boxes rock. So, yeah, I definitely like this car. In my opinion, the second best car within the bonus DLC, the Lamborghini Miura P400 SV. This car has been available as a third-party mod for quite a while. It's now been brought into Assetto Corsa as official content, and it's definitely good to see that happen because this car is just a giant bundle of fun. If you like your cars to have a lot of power and a lot of sidewaysness, this car is for you. Definitely for you. This is a beast. This is a car you're going to have to put your man pants on for because, well, you're going to be driving this thing sideways. You have to grab this thing by the scruff of the neck and kind of drag it around the track, which is just fun. It's just fun. Plus, if you can't drift this car, you can't drift anything. I'm pretty dang sure. Which just leaves one car as my favorite car within the bonus DLC package, and a car that has quickly become maybe my favorite car in Assetto Corsa. It's certainly up there with the E30 M3 and the BMW M235i Racing, the Toyota GT86, which, depending on where you live, you might also recognize as the Subaru BRZ or the Scion FRS, because it's all the same car. Yay, manufacturing cooperation. 200 horsepower, lightweight, goes around corners really well. It's the Toyota GT86. Everybody knows about this car, and it's this car, which means that it's a heck of a lot of fun to drive in Assetto Corsa. It's just enjoyable. It's just a very enjoyable car to drive that's very well balanced and fun. You know, like I said, if you like the E30 M3, you're probably really going to like this car. So, anyways, on to Zandvoort. Alrighty, we're starting in 18th position, dead last. This track supports 18 cars. We got the BMW Z4 S-Drive 3.0i in front of us. A couple of them in the field. Then we have other Toyota GT86s. And then beyond that, we have the E30 M3 Step 1. which this setup has proven to me to be one of the more enjoyable ways to experience Assetto Corsa and hopefully demonstrate the version 1.2 patch improvements, which include improved AI, although it definitely isn't going to seem like it here on this first lap, as they are still very scruffy on the first lap. Move your feet, lose your seat. So just go ahead and slide in front of him, be like, "What's up?" But then he's just going to be all like, just be like, I got an extra 30 horsepower, so deal with it, you know. It's a fun little combination though, because the Z4 is really fast down the straights, but really slow in the corners. The E30 is pretty well balanced between the two. And then the GT86, of course, goes really fast through the corners. We are using 100% AI difficulty, and we are using the default semi-slick tire compound, which is what this car comes on by default. It's also what the E30 M3 uses by default for the AI. I believe the Z4s are on street tires, but they still go pretty dang fast. Yeah, as you can see, the AI still definitely needs some work. It needs a lot of work, but it is definitely an improvement. The improvement is real. It's not just a placebo, as I've seen some people try and say. It's like, pay attention to the differences. It's pretty obvious, but you know, by no means is this the new R Factor 2 level AI or anything like that. Definitely still are a bit too slow, but I'm not sure anything can really be done about that at this stage. That corner's so much fun. You just basically dab the brake, the car turned, and hope you're on the right line. This track is such a perfect fit for this car. You don't have exceptionally long straightaways, and even when you do have a straightaway, you still got something going on. Got some elevation change or setting up for the next corner. There has been a minor controversy, as this track isn't laser scanned, which is something that is different when it comes to official offerings for Assetto Corsa. Of course, it's also free, so it's got that going for it. But there's been a minor uproar over that, but having done numerous laps around the iRacing version of the same track, which is laser scanned, it was that Z4. It was like, sup? And I'm just all like, get back here! Get back here! Just shaking my fist. Just yelling Nemesis. But, back to the track, you know, comparing it to the iRacing version, which I've done way more laps than I could possibly count on. You know, yeah, it's still very good. It holds up very well. You know, yeah, there's definitely some differences. that I could point out. You know, this track does feel a little bit flatter. Some of the elevations do seem a little bit different, but at the same time, it's good enough for 95% of the community, and the 5% that it isn't good enough for are probably doing thousands of laps around the real track. Anyways. This move right here is so futile. I stayed out too wide for too long. I was gonna try and cross under him, but it wouldn't have worked anyways because I have power. It is light versus might. But it is a heck of a lot of fun because you do have that to contend with. You know, and the AI does finally pass. I mean, you guys saw the way that Z4 passed me. This isn't like the previous version, the 1.1 or earlier AI in this game. I mean, about a month ago I saw some guy who was driving the, at the time, the newly released MX-5 mod at the Nürburgring, and he ended up queuing up race cars of every shape and size behind him that had, you know, 500 horsepower. You're not going to be able to do that as efficiently, I feel. 3 wide, you're in the middle, 3 wide, clear right, 2 wide, car left, still there, still there, still there, clear all around. So you couldn't do that beforehand. Not do that. Gotta make sure we get this section right. This is where we really gain on the Z4s. Bumper rubbing. Bye-bye. I need a tow rope. Need a tow rope. Go ahead and take that position. See, the AI is now to the point where you can at least have some fun with them. There's still definitely way to go, but it's different now. I mean, come on, this is fun. This is fun indeed. Carry the speed, get on the power. Use all of the road. Hope we open up enough gap to not get run over. Too early. Still gonna keep the Z4 behind us. Z4 is definitely the fastest. That's why I put him at the back of the pack, but do it properly, you can still beat them. But in terms of other improvements to Assetto Corsa, there's been an improvement to the physics, which also manifest themselves in the force feedback. Interestingly enough, of course, the force feedback is generated from the physics, so it makes perfectly good sense that that is the case. But previously, I've really never been a huge fan of the force feedback in Assetto Corsa. That's never been a secret. I've never hidden that fact, but I feel like now that I've driven this update, looking back at it, I can definitively put my finger on why I didn't like the force feedback. Still think there's some improvements, but I'll be talking about that here in a moment. But beforehand, the way the force feedback presented itself, it's basically as soon as you turned in, you had a little bit of play in the steering wheel, and then all of a sudden it just loaded up in an instant. So basically the forces and the force feedback ramped up really, really, really quickly. You know, in pretty much an instant, more or less. Whereas now, there's more progression to it. It's softer. It feels like there's a little bit more resistance at the bottom end. But the way it presents itself makes it work. Like beforehand, I always kind of felt like I was fighting the car a little bit more than what I probably should. Whereas now I actually kind of feel like the force feedback is actually working with me, like I'm actually understanding what the car's doing and why it's doing what it's doing beyond just, I know it should be doing that or this. So definitely an improvement in that regard, pretty much across the board. So of course it has taken a nice step forward. Still a way to go, but definitely going in the right direction. I think we've lost the Z4. I think he got held up in the M3s. I ain't gonna complain about that. So got a few more cars to catch. Probably have 1 or 2 laps left. I don't know. Too lazy to go grab my mouse and pull up a lap time display or anything like that, because that's really irrelevant. I'll say though, one thing this car really needs, which is something that you always see whenever you read anything about this car, it needs more torque. Something. Like that first turn, I want to take it in third. I should take it in third. Be the fast way around, you would think, but if the revs drop just a little bit too much, the car has no power at all. Which once that happens, then you're pretty much screwed. Because any time you gain by not having to shift, you just lose by the fact that the car is way out of its power band. See, there again, it's another one of those corners where, you know, or even maybe 500 extra RPM. Something. But that just adds to the fun. It adds to the charm, right? Totally make a mockery of that corner. So let's see if we can catch this guy.
Okay, maybe we have 2 more laps left. That's what I'm guessing at this point. So let's try it in third, see what happens. Just kind of wheezes. Kind of wheezes. Oh, on the power too early. How not to take that corner 101. Right there. Okay, let's nail this next corner here. Or not. We still carried relatively decent speed through it. Again, another case of a corner being in between second and third. There we go. We really gained time in that middle section where there's basically no straightaways to speak of. We got to gain more time more quickly. That means not screwing that corner up every time. That'd be great. That'd be a great place to start. So we're clear from behind. There's the white flag, one last lap. All of the room. I'm gonna catch this guy and win this race. How to take that corner 101 as demonstrated. There we go. Redemption. Okay, we have to nail this section here. We can do it. Not that good, but decent exit speed. Da-dum, da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. We got 2 corners because we're not going to be able to get them in the right at the end of the lap. So we just aren't going to have the power, but we can get in front somehow and maybe he screws this corner up. Bit of a stutter there. Not sure what's going on there. Slowing down, we're closing up. We're gaining. We're gaining. We're gaining. See, that's why everybody says that the GT86 FRS BRZ needs more power, because otherwise you lose to E30 M3s. That's why. That's what happens. See? I mean, that's why this car needs more power. It's simple as that. But, yeah, Assetto Corsa. 1.2 update, definitely an update, definitely a step in the right direction. And, well, if you get things set up right, you can have a heck of a lot of fun. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.